Good day, Broncos. My name is Teresa Acosta.
And I am Damariz Arevalo.
And we've finally entered the month of March. With spring season right around the corner, you know what that means?
Daylight savings time?
That, and there's just a few more weeks until spring break.
I'm really excited for that, but I'm actually looking forward to St. Patrick's Day.
Of course, it's the perfect time to wear your Cal Poly Pomona green. But okay, let's see what's been going on around campus in this episode of Poly Post Now. Starting off this week's headline recap, ASI approved extra funding for 2 CPP engineering organizations, and the Kids University program is hitting the pause button.
The gym is supposed to be welcoming to all members, from experienced weightlifters to first-comers, and you can get started today.
Faculty members have voted to approve the CFA tentative agreement, and we'll talk about what was won and lost. And last but not least, tax season is right around the corner, and you may be eligible to get free tax preparation help from IRS-certified CPP students. During their most recent meeting, the ASI approved additional budget requests for both the American Society of Civil Engineers and the Structural Engineers Association in order to support students to compete for the Pacific Southwest Student Symposium at the University of Hawaii. From April 3rd to April 5th, students will compete against 14 other universities while providing them with the industry exposure, networking, scholarships, and social experiences through technical and athletic competitions. We wish them the best of luck and look forward to a first-place win.
Even the thought of deciding to go to the gym can be intimidating, especially for people who have never used workout machines before. Seeing people work out like it's second nature can often create misconceptions that newcomers will be judged, causing them to feel self-conscious. Contrary to that belief, the gym is actually very welcoming, and there are gym goers who want to help. If you want to learn more about how you can get started today, please check out the Poly Post website.
76% of faculty members voted yes to the CFA tentative agreement after months of negotiations. The agreement included 2 general salary increases, 5% for 2023 to 24 and 5% for 2024 to 25, a raise in the base pay for the lowest paid faculty members, and 10 weeks of parental leave, which is 4 more than the previous agreement. However, many faculty members were still disappointed by the exclusion of their request for more counselors to aid students in school and mental health, amongst other requests that were made during the strike. If you'd like to read more on the topic, please visit our website.
We've all had good and bad professors during our time here at CPP, but boy, did our Broncos have a lot of experiences to share on this week's Reporter on the Street. And here's Aaron to tell us more.
What's up, Broncos? This is Aaron from the Poly Post with this week's episode of Reporter on the Street. Today we're going to be talking to students about their best and worst experiences with a professor. Let's get into it.
I would have to say my worst was a professor who always kind of made fun of me every time I would answer to him and always made me kind of sad.
I'd say the best experience I had with the professor was definitely in physics. Already a hard class, but this professor was just like really great. On the first day we did an experiment, which is pretty cool. I just felt very welcoming in that class, and the whole semester I had no issues with him. Professor Nathan Tong, by the way.
Worst experience, I'll go with worst first. It had to be a professor that was like, I locked the door, and if you need to go to the bathroom, just count yourself absent for the day. That was the worst. And for best, I've had a lot of good experiences. I'd have to say when one of my professors had a end of the year potluck. That was really nice.
Worst experience with the professor, we're gonna name him unnamed, obviously. I just felt like they kind of rushed the course, like as a whole. I feel like they didn't really care to like actually explain things through. And obviously as a civil engineer, these classes are gonna shape us for the future. And so if you're not taking the time to actually sit with the kid and worried about other things and not like actually teaching your class, that's pretty bad. But one of my best experiences with a professor, Ivan Ventura, calc teacher. That's just one of them. Obviously there's been a few, but he took the time, where I'm a commuter, and he took the time to meet on Zoom every other chance we could get, and actually took the time to sit and educate me, because at the end of the day we pay for this. And so I was appreciative of that. Like, even though I'm commuting out far, we could hop on a Zoom, or I can meet him in his office hours. So that was a pretty good experience.
All right.
So I would say my best right now, I have a professor. I won't say his name because he's an amazing professor. It's Dr. Collins. He is very, very enthusiastic to help us learn about everything that we are learning about, like modernism, postmodernism, and literature, power, and politics. He's an amazing professor, and he really does care about his students. So that's been my best experience so far. Yeah.
All right. And how about your worst?
I would say my worst, I used to be an engineering major. So one of my worst professors was, I won't say the name, but it was a physics professor. So the curve for the class was really, really bad. And I thought I was the only one failing, to be honest. But then at the end, everyone was like, okay, be honest, say what your grade is. And everyone had 40s to 50s. And I went to his, what was it called? The office hours once to show that I cared about my grades. And he completely marked one of my questions wrong, even though it was right. And he was like, oops, this was an accident. And it was a 5-question test. So it's pretty easy to fail. So yeah, that was probably my worst by far.
All right. Thank you very much. There you have it, Broncos. That's it for this episode of Reporter on the Street. Enjoy the rest of your week and be safe.
Cal Poly Pomona recently hosted its 2024 Spring Career Fair on March 1st for all students to meet and connect with potential employers in their fields. CPP reporter Alex Novoa was at the event, and here's what employers are saying about the importance of hands-on experiences.
We here at Jackson Family like to think of ourselves as landowners, and once we grow the wine and make the wine, we have to get out into the market and sell it. So we're looking for persistent, confident, and consistent people who want to be in the chain market sales division as well as on-premise. We're looking for people who want to be wine learners but also wine consultants, because we're going into small businesses and we're trying to convince people to put our products on their tables. So what we're really looking for is people who are motivated, self-organized, and hustlers.
So we're especially interested in those pursuing an engineering degree, particularly those in mechanical, electrical, manufacturing engineering. We do a lot of design. We have a lot of CNC machinery. So we're looking for professionals that are looking to get into those fields.
Cal Poly's motto is learn by doing. I definitely learned by working as a technical recruiter. I mostly learned by actually doing the work versus reading about it. So very, very hands-on here at Powen as well.
I feel that Cal Poly's approach, especially the engineering side, in having lots of labs and hands-on experience has been very beneficial, because then it gives us an idea of not only the theory side of it, but practically it helps us understand that practical side of it, and that has proven to be invaluable in the industry.
Furthermore, recent surveys are also saying that grades are no longer the holy grail to your dream job. And let's head over now to Billy to tell us more.
Grades are now one of the last things employers are looking at during the hiring process, and recent surveys suggest that rather than choosing between potential candidates who all have similar grades and GPAs, they're more interested in seeing what skills and attributes you can bring to the table. One of the biggest concerns for most college students, and that includes CPP students, is whether or not we're actually going to be able to find a job after we've completed our college education. With students spending thousands of dollars a year and countless hours stressing about school and getting the perfect grade, many assume that just by having a 4.0 GPA and a degree in hand, that they'll surely be able to get the job of their dreams. And they would be correct if they were trying to look for a job 20 years ago. But nowadays, employers are looking for more than just straight A's when scouting for potential hires. They want to see whether or not you have the experience to differentiate yourself from other candidates, and may even prioritize those skill sets on your resume over someone who has good grades but no hands-on experience.
Well, much like the U.S. government jobs, they are really concerned with the types of courses that students are taking, as well as the types of experiences that students have, as these tie the students with the different opportunities that the employers may post or have a desire to be hiring for. And so they're not as concerned about the GPAs anymore as one may think. They are important, but they're really important to align with the positions that they're hiring for.
I would hope that they're more interested in my qualifications. I think GPA can only reveal so much. It's good to have a higher GPA, but there's so much more that students can offer. So I would hope that they look towards my qualifications more.
According to an article written by Kevin Gray, an associate professor at the National Association of Colleges and Employers, or better known as NACE, nearly 90% of employers that have responded to the Job Outlook 2024 survey said that they're seeking evidence of a student's ability to solve problems, and 80% of the employers want candidates who have strong teamwork skills. Additionally, at least 2/3 of employers have reported that they are looking for candidates with strong work ethics, written and verbal communication skills, and any internship experiences they might have gained while studying in college.
So I always tell students to be prepared. Preparing themselves always helps them to be more confident in an interview setting and going forward. Even students, it helps them be prepared for job fairs. So as we have our upcoming job fair on March 1st, we just had one on February 20th, which in turn prepares them for the real world.
While the need for specific skill sets on top of good grades may seem daunting to some of us, CPP's Learn by Doing model helps set its students apart from others that are in the competitive job market today.
Even though grades still matter, it's not all that we are, and definitely not all that the employers are looking for either. So rather than spending long hours on doing homework and studying, it's never too late to start discovering what hidden skills and attributes you truly hold and get the hands-on experience you need so that you can stand out amidst all the other people who also have the same grades. For more information and resources on how you can get started today, please check out CPP Career Center's website. But for now, this has been reporter Billy Huang from the Poly Post.
Even though basketball season is coming to a close, CPP's baseball season is just getting started.
Baseball is one of my favorite sports to both watch and play, so this is an exciting time of year for me.
I am also excited to see what's in store for our sports teams. Today and coming up, we have an exclusive interview with one of our CPP's women's track and field athletes. So let's head over to Kasai now to tell us more on
Poly Post Sports.
What's up, Broncos? My name is Kasai Childress, and with spring right around the corner, I'm excited to welcome you to this week's segment of Poly Post Sports. Starting off with women's basketball, the Broncos ended the regular season with a bang on senior night on Thursday, February 29th, beating Cal State San Bernardino 92-69 and improving their overall record to 19-8. The Broncos had 3 players scoring to double figures in their 23-point rout against the Yotes. Brianne Ha, Cindy Nelson, and Kayla Bugs accumulated for 63 points in the win and punched their ticket to the CCAA tournament this week on March 7th against Sonoma State. Moving on to the men's basketball team, they finished the regular season winning 2 of the last 3 games, creating high hopes for the season. Brandon Porter's campaign ended strong on senior night, racking up 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 steals. He was a major contribution for the green and gold, finishing top 15 in scoring for the CCAA. The Broncos end the season with a 10-16 record and look to bounce back next year. And up next, we have men's baseball, and the Broncos traveled north with a series against Cal State Monterey Bay this past weekend. The Broncos got out to an early 1-0 series lead after erupting for 9 runs in the 7th inning that ultimately prevailed them to a 14-13 win. Unfortunately, this spark came to an end after the Broncos lost the next 3 matchups against the Otters, losing the overall series 3-1. The Broncos look to get back on track this Friday against Cal State East Bay. Now sprinting into men's track and field, the Broncos traveled to the beach opener this past weekend, and Alessio Simaco had himself a day after coming in first place in the men's 110 and 400 hurdles. Also, shout out to Jake Tilford, Camden Patterson, Leroy Crook, Ryan Fields, and Joshua Johnson of the men's 4x400 team after coming in first place with a time of 3 minutes and 14 seconds. And finally, moving on to the women's team, Jalen Thomas, Una Quiniat, Susie Fowler, and Ayanna Fields put on a show at the beach opener as well, leading their 4x100 team to a first place with a time of 46.50. And today I want to welcome Ayanna Fields. She's one of the captains of the track team. And as we said, greatly appreciate you taking the time out your day to help us with this. And how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling really great today.
All right.
Really awesome.
So I'm going to get started with my first question. So you were CPP's first student athlete for the women's track and field team to qualify for a national title. Unfortunately, COVID stole that opportunity from you. Fast forwarding back to this year, tell me what goes through your mind when you see your name on that bid for the 4th time.
You know, seeing my name up there, it means so much compared to previous years, just because I've been dealing with like a slight injury, and just being able to see my name up there and be able to go again this year means so much. It's really kind of gets me going a little bit.
You talked about an injury. Do you mind elaborating more on that as far as like what you injured throughout the season?
Yeah, so I've been dealing with a little bit of like inflammation, kind of a little bit of sharp pain towards like my medial kind of hamstring. But luckily I've been able to kind of recover from that injury, so that's why I'm definitely competing at the 60-meter dash indoor for sure.
So now I'm going to move on to my second question. You've been training all season long with a purpose. Tell me what your preparation looks like on a week-to-week basis as someone getting ready for the 60-meter dash on March 8th in Kansas.
So pretty much preparation, getting ready for the indoor. It's mainly just kind of short burst, kind of like quick tempo, short sprint type of workouts. I'm not really focusing too much on the long aspects such as like 400, 300, 350 meters, just kind of working on the blocks, getting my start down, getting that transition ready, and just kind of getting that quickness set up, getting ready for the 60-meter dash.
Yeah. All right, and then lastly, you've been close a few times to winning a national title. What is it going to take to finally get over that obstacle in your final year as a Bronco?
Well, it's going to take a lot of hard work, dedication. I really got to set my mind to it and really let out that inner beast and kind of, set aside any type of competition that's near me, get in the zone, and just go for it.
All right. Well, like I said, once again, I definitely appreciate you. I hope you do well at the indoor championships, and good luck.
Thank you so much.
No problem. That's all for this week's iteration of the Polypost Sports Broncos. Don't forget to check out BroncoAthletics.com for the latest updates on all things CPP sports. Once again, I'm your host, Kasai Childress, and now back to the anchors.
Thank you for this week's sports recap, Kasai, and great interview with Liana Fields. She's really living up to her name's expectations.
We can't wait to see what our Lady Broncos have in store for us next. But for now, that's all for today's episode. Tune in again next time with us here at Polypost Now.
And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can be notified when the latest episode comes out. And check out our website at thepolypost.com for more leading news content. Signing off until next time, this has been Damariz Arevalo.
And I'm Teresa Acosta. Thanks for watching, Broncos!